Morning to everybody, the participants. Also, today I am going to speak on design aspects of BLDC motor and magnet software. That is, we are going to discuss about the basics about BLDC motor and what are the factors that are to be decided or that are to be considered for designing a BLDC motor and how through simulation we can do it using FIM tools. So I have chosen the magnet software for that. Okay. And today's session, I'm going to discuss about a brief introduction about BLDC motor and how to design a BLDC motor and how to design through it through the software and what are the analysis that can be done through this software. Coming to electrical vehicles, if you compared with internal combustion engine with alternate fuel vehicles in different aspects, for example, number of moving parts, if you compared with internal combustion engine, it is very high, whereas in alternate fuels it is low. Reliability is moderate in conventional, whereas in alternate fuel vehicles it is high. Efficiency is also low, whereas here it is high. And bidirectional option, that is regeneration process, it is not at all available in internal combustion engine, whereas alternate fuel vehicles provide you that options also. Likewise, if you see means in every aspect, the internal combustion engine lags behind the alternate fuel vehicles. And and another key aspect is that foreign oils, because we depend on foreign oils, that is we export oils from foreign countries for operating the internal combustion engines, whereas in alternate fuel vehicles we don't depend so. And moreover, during this situation, everything is trending and everything is personalized for their customized for their needs, whereas internal combustion engines are pre-built in alternate fuel vehicles where it can be customized according to the customers. So this will in future, this electrical vehicle will grow in 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 a more way. And also these electrical vehicles creates an opportunities for entrepreneurs in various aspects like production. If it develops, many charging stations can be constructed, spare parts can be designed, servicing engineers are to be recruited, and moreover, tracker installations like AI, everything can be coordinated with this. By these aspects, the entrepreneurs are also developed because of these electric vehicles. If you see what are the alternate fuel vehicles available, there are hybrid electrical vehicles, pure electrical vehicles, and fuel cell electrical vehicles. If you see the electrical drive systems in alternate fuel vehicles, it consists of energy storage system, electronic controllers, power converters, and motors. In energy storage system, it consists of batteries and ultra capacitors, whereas in electronic controllers, sensors, circuits, and processors. And power converters, it is of semiconducting devices, and motors of special electrical machines like permanent electrical special machines. If you see, we have these many research aspects in this field, and here in this session, I am going to take about the motors, especially the BL brushless DC motor. So this brushless DC motor is in existence since 1962. In recent years, this permanent magnet brushless DC motors have gained more popularity in the area of precision and controlled applications because it has low noise and vibration, longer life, and easy controllability with high efficiency. These advantages, combined with the programmed control, have made them very attractive candidates for various domestic as well as industrial applications. These brushless DC motors, as the name suggests, it is without brushes, slip rings, or mechanical commutator. Structure-wise, it resembles just like a synchronous motor with permanent magnet rotor. Here, the magnetic field generated by stator is same as the rotor at same frequency. The configurations available in this motors are single phase, two phase, and three phase, in which the most popular is the three phases. This is the basic structure of BLDC motor. As you see, normal as just like every other motors, you can see a stator as well as a winding rotor with permanent magnet. The another key aspect of this is as it has all effect sensors. Let us see what are the basic, what is the purpose and how it works based on this all effect sensors. Coming to the stator resembles as the same induction motor. Slots are in interior surface. Either it can be opened or closed distributor armature windings wounded for a specified number of poles connected to a DC supply electronic switch circuits. Coming to the rotor, rotor is a permanent magnet instead of the windings which are seen in the normal machines. Number of poles in stator is equal to the number of poles in the rotor in this brushless DC motors. The rotor shaft has rotor position sensors also. Sensors provides the suitable signals to the electronic commutator. That is, it gives the position of the sensors poles where it is located. It has various other combinations like interior rotor, axial type rotor, as well as exterior type rotor. Coming to the Hall sensors, BLDC motors are electronically commutated, as I told already. The rotations in this are how the rotation is made is that the stator windings are energized sequentially. That is, the stator consists of windings, and when the winding is energized, that particular stator teeth is energized with either north pole or south pole. As it is energized, the permanent magnet rotor, it has opposite poles like north and south. So whenever it is energized, the unlike poles attract towards each energized pole, which makes the rotation of the rotor. But which teeth has to be, that is, which slot or which teeth has to be energized, that that is done by the Hall effect sensors. That is, its position, that sensors gives the signal that where the rotor is placed. That position has been given by the sensors, and that particular coil has been energized, and that as the stator is energized, the north pole and south pole gets attracted, and thus the sequence of commutation is determined. How it works? The angle is fixed to 90-degree electrical. The magnetic field is now generated through the coils energized, and the torque, how it is developed, is the interaction between the stator and the magnetic field and the rotor. As the energization is done, the continuous running of rotor is done, and the energization is done by the powering sequence of the power converters. As shown in this animation, if you see, the energization of coil is made through the power electronic circuits, and as the energization is done, the poles are getting energized with either north or south. Correspondingly, the opposite poles which is located at the rotor is getting attracted, and thus the rotor is getting moved. Thus, the BLDC is working through electronic commutation. This is the drive system. That is, I am from the very beginning, I am telling that electronically commutated. This explains the electronic commutation. That is, here you can see the 1, 2, 3 in different colors of windings. This winding has to be energized. It has been connected to the power electronic circuit, bridge circuit, inverter circuit. Okay, and if you can see the position sensor here, in this position sensor gives the signal to the encoders, which is position or speed control triggers present here, and it gives the position signal to the bridge, and accordingly the switches present in the leg is switched on. As it is switched on, through the coil, through the wire, and the coil is being energized, and as it is energized, you are getting a electromagnetic signal on the stator teeth, which makes the rotor to rotate. Thus, the BLDC motor is working. This is a small example which I have shown here. This example is an external electromagnetic stator with magnetic field sensor. Okay, here you can see various small boxes on the stator which represents the stator teeth, and in yellow color you can see that I have considered as a position sensor. And if you see in the middle, you can see the red as well as black color in the rotor poles, which can either taken as north, black. If for example you can take it black as a north and red as south, and the position is being sensed by the yellow color sensors. If you see here, now the position is sensed, and automatically the opposite pole, the stator teeth are energized with opposite poles. So the rotor is rotating towards the automatic pole, Actually, it is you can say that the south pole tried to attract with the north pole on the stator and try to stick with it, but it will not stick, and it will continuously try, which makes the rotor to rotate. So the how much speed you are giving the sensor signals, or you can say that the bridge circuit is being switched on, switch off. In that frequency, the rotor is rotated. The speed of the rotor is decided by the switching sequence which you are giving there. You can either, it can be, for example, it can be like 120-degree mode of operation. Also, the bridge circuit can be operated as either 120-degree mode or 180-degree mode. 180-degree mode will give you a smooth output, whereas 120-degree mode will give a pulse type of output. If you take the speed versus torque characteristics of this BLDC motor also, it is normal speed torque characteristics only. They are inversely proportional. As the speed is getting increased, the torque is reduced. It has high starting torque. If you see, this is an example of a speed torque characteristic of 2 HP BLDC machine with a rated speed of 3000 RPM. Here you can see the maximum peak torque is of 14.3 Newton meter, and the holding torque is of 4.78 Newton meter. When the torque is at 4.78, the speed of the motor is reached at 3000 RPM, which is the rated speed of the motor. That is, when the motor is rotating as rated speed, the torque it has minimum. If you see the merits of this BLDC motor, as it has no field winding, it has no copper losses. As the speed is dependent upon your switching frequency speed, it has an high opportunity to have high speed with low machine structure. Means small size machine or big size machine, we can make it to rotate based on the switching sequence. It can operate at any atmospheric hazardous atmospheric condition. Efficiency is also better. It is a self-starting motor, and the main advantage when it is to be equipped with electrical vehicle, it has regenerative braking also. The motor size can be of small size also or big size also according to your application. The main demerits, if you see, means as the rotor is of permanent magnet and it also involves like extra controllers, it costs very high, and as it involves drive circuit separately, it also requires some space to accommodate the drive spaces, as well as it creates some complexity. And apart from this, the main technical drawback about this is that as the rotor is of permanent magnet, it has a major setback called cogging torque. We will see about this cogging torque in detail because it has more key aspects on design aspect. So we will discuss about this in detail in coming later slides. Okay, when compared with other normal DC permanent magnet DC motions and with the stepper motor, as it is robust nature, so I have compared this motor with permanent magnet DC machine as well as the stepper motor. When it is compared with other type of motors also, if you see, it has high advantages than other type of motors, and whereas it has less disadvantages compared to the or normal in operation motors. The main comparison between the real-time motors is that it has to be compared with permanent magnet synchronous machine because both are of similar operation, similar structure, everything. It has only one difference, that is BLDC motor is fed with DC, whereas PMSM is fed with AC signal. Because of that, the back EMF which is produced by the BLDC motor is trapezoidal, whereas here it is sinusoidal. So you can expect everything has high points in BLDC motor, whereas this 3 points, that is it has high torque ripple and higher harmonics as well as core losses. These three aspects is more important when for example, if you are rectifying these three disadvantages, it will overcome with this permanent magnet synchronous machine, and these three aspects can be rectified through the design aspects. So designing of this type of machine, understanding the design procedure of this type of machine will create more research opportunities. As I said earlier in previous slide, I was told that the main setback about this BLDC machine is of cogging torque. If if you take measures to reduce this cogging torque, it indirectly improves this torque ripple harmonics as well as the core losses of this machine. Now coming into that cogging torque, the major setback, as I told, it is cogging torque. It is also generally termed as detentant or no current torque. Cogging torque can be told as the interaction between the rotor magnets and the stator slats. That is, as I said about the fundamentals of BLDC motor, you can see that the rotor of the machine is of permanent magnet, as well as the stator is of electromagnets. But we all know that whenever a iron or any conducting material is placed over a magnet for a period of time, for a course of time, we can also see that that iron or that conducting material will also have the magnetic properties, that it will have the interaction between the other iron parts. It is basic science only. Similarly, as our rotor is of permanent magnet, the interaction between the electromagnet and in the rotor in the halt position, that is when the motor is stopped or the motor is not running, it will try to attract between them, and while starting these two will get attracted and it will have a sticky, means like it will be having a locking. To be technical, it will experience a locking. This is called as initially when the torque is given, this will actually result in a very halt position of rotor, which will show a vibration and deformation in when the motor is operating at low speed. But when the reaches is trying to reach about the rated or near rated value, this cogging torque is vanished. It is experienced more in the low speed only, but not in the high speed. As we see, it is the interaction between the permanent magnet and the electromagnet. This will show as a jerkness in the machine. We can say like it will show like a vibration. So by design aspects, we can control this cogging torque, and this happens because of design manufacturing faults also. If you see, in electrical vehicles, it replicates it shows results in high output torque ripple and a rough running motor. If a electric vehicle is running is at a low speed, then it will show a vibration because of this cogging torque. This is mainly because of non-ideal manufacturing. So we can create some design variations, and we can show a improved cogging torque, which is now is being in practice. It is also an open research gap only. Actually, during my PG, I have done 4 design variations to reduce this cogging torque. But at that time, since I or maybe I was not aware of publications and these things, I was not doing my work as a publications. But now I have seen that in 2019, I have seen an IEEE transaction in industrial application for reduced cogging torque. That is, they have used a skewing technique to reduce the cogging torque. In design, they have shown some variations to reduce this cogging torque. As this can be taken as a primary research gap also. Now also it is a open research gap only, and you can develop more design as well as control techniques to reduce this torque ripple as well as this cogging torque. Coming to the application of this BLDC motor, it can be applied for constant loads as well as varying loads as well as positioning application. In constant load, it is directly coupled with the motor shaft. For example, like fans, pumps, blowers, this type of thing. And varying load on motor varies with over a speed range, like washers, dryers, compressors. These types of applications is coming under varying load. Positioning, most of the industrial and automation come under this category. That is, you can see that in medical aspects also, we are using many application we are using this BLDC motor. For example, that filling of medicines in a bottle, after completion, next bottle has to come. This type of robotic actions also BLDC motors are being used. And another most interesting application is that you may be aware of that artificial hearts, pacemakers being placed in the heart. the pumping of heart operation is also done by this BLDC motor, as it has smooth operation. This type of applications also these motors has been used. This is our main objective of today's session, that is design aspects of this BLDC motor. So in this section, what we are going to discuss is that in order to design the BLDC motor, what are the things has to be considered and what are the things has to be taken into account and how it has to be taken in step-by-step methodology. So to design a BLDC motor, first step is that either you can have, there are two variables, that is independent variables and dependent variables. Independent variables you can say like input variables. Dependent variables you can call it as output variables. To be very clear, we can tell that independent variables can be like dimensions of the machine. For example, if you want to design any machine, what you want is that the main concept is that dimension. What in what dimension I have to keep my stator, and in what dimension I have to keep my rotor. How should I place? This type of input is called as input independent. Another type of design approach is that torque, current, efficiency, temperature, this type of variables. That is, my machine has to rotate in this speed and it should have this much efficiency and the coil should have this much capacity of current carrying capability. So these type of keeping these type of aspects in your mind, you have to properly go to design procedure. Either you can go in this aspect or either you can go in this aspect. Okay, when you approach your design based on independent variables, it requires more reiteration method. That is, for example, if you are fixed to the dimension, for example, I am going to design a machine for this particular application only, and my machine should be of this size only. So when you have your constraint based on this, what you want to do is that based on the design, you want to simulate it, you want to run it, and you want to check with the output torque, output current, and everything. You want to check with that, and if not achieved, if your rated speed is not achieved through your design, then again you want to do some variations in design procedure, so that again you want to recheck it. Whereas if you have you are keeping the dependent variable as your input, you can fix with the this is my rated speed and this is this thing, and based on this I am developing dimensions of the machines. This approach will have less reiteration method. So a comprehensive design of this type of machine has hundreds of parameters and thousands of iteration. It is a challenging aspect also. In this design procedure, how we are going to approach is that through independent variables. That is, we are having our dimensions, turns, magnetic materials, what we want to do, and based on this, we are going to achieve the required torque, current, and efficiency. So, in designing a BLDC machine, what is the course of action? First step, what you want to do is that you want to go from the inner part of the machine to the outer part of the machine. That is, first of all, you want to go with your rotor. First, you want to fix with this should be my shaft dimension, and then you want to, according to the shaft, you want to go for your rotor, and you want to go with the permanent magnet configuration. You want to have a basic knowledge about what are the configurations available with the permanent magnet. If I am keeping this material, what type of grade is to be used? This type of knowledge has to be fixed first. Once the rotor is designed and completed, you want to go with a proper air gap, and depending on the air gap, you want to fix with your stator inner diameter, and then you want to go with your stator outer diameter. Based on your diameter and based on the rotor force, you want to go with your stator teeth, and then you want to go with your windings over the teeth. Now, for this much area means you have a slot area of this much area only. Based on your area and volume available in your slot, you want to fix with the turns as well as the diameter and dimensions of the conductor size of the winding. Next, decisions that are to be made for designing a BLDC machine. First, you want to fix with what type of BLDC motor you want to use. That is, you want to have an interior rotor, or you want to have an exterior rotor, or your rotor should be of axial type. So which type of BLDC motor you are going to use, and for what application you are going to design a BLDC motor. Next is magnetic materials. You want to have a clean knowledge on the material properties of the permanent magnet which you are going to be using in your machine, because the based on your application there are various in this every aspects we will go in detail. Now I am just giving an introduction. In detail we will discuss about all these points. For example, if you take magnetic materials, you want to know the property of the magnetic material. Why you want to know that property? Because your application, for example, your vehicle, you are going to design a BLDC motor for an electrical vehicle. You don't know where the particular electrical vehicle is going to run. It may either run in glacier atmosphere, it can either run in road atmosphere, or it can run in desert. Any type of application, anywhere it can run. So the permanent magnet which you are using should not get influenced over the temperature which is available in the atmosphere. These type of properties and all you want to know. Next is method of commutation. As we all aware of the power electronic semiconductor bridge circuit commutation technique, that is 120-degree and 180 mode. So according to your application, you can either go for 180-degree mode or 120-degree mode. That is based on your application only. Then the choice of rotor. As I told earlier, either it can be interior rotor type or exterior rotor type, or it can be axial rotor type. And the rough idea about the magnet grades, and the number of phases, poles, and stator slots, and finally the winding configurations. Next, so in this slide you can see the basic line diagram about the BLDC motor. When I say dimensions, what is the dimension? And what I mean is that these are the dimensions. That is stator outer diameter, stator inner diameter, rotor inner diameter, rotor outer diameter, slot depth, magnet thickness, air gap, how much I want to keep, everything. This is the simple line diagram about the BLDC motor. Before getting into design any machine, your paperwork should be of this type only. Even in all the industries, I have gone with DRDO also. There they are designing a machine for combat vehicles. There also I have seen first step is like this only, and then they will do a dyeing called like chart type of thing. They will cut everything, and then only they will go into real time of application before designing anything. So this is very important. You want to know what is the dimensions, what are the dimensions you want to know in order to design this BLDC motor. For example, the apart from this, if you see, the stator alone has these many dimensions. You want to know these many dimensions. That is the slot width of the top angle, tooth width, back ion length, slot depth, slot width bottom. As I have shown in the diagram, these are the measurements you want to know. For example, what is the slot pitch? Everything has been given in this diagram. What is the area, trapezoidal area? What is the back ion length? So based on this, you want to know the dimension. So if you have all these dimensions, you can go in for simulation or anything to do design variations in your simulation tool. This is the complete designed BLDC machine which is showing the various parts of the BLDC machine. It consists of the basic everything as I shown in the earlier slide. This is the completed model of the BLDC machine. That was the line diagram. After that line diagram, you want to take it into this stage. And this is the design flow chart. What I am trying to say through this design flow chart is that what are the steps you want to follow for designing? First, application requirement. So it has more as I said earlier, it has more applications. First, you want to fix with for what application you are going to design a machine. Because if you are designing for electrical vehicle, your application is restricted to some constraints. Same BLDC motor, if you are going to design for any pumping application or any hair dryers, everything. So there are some constraints, and such point, some points can be avoided, neglected for such applications. So based on, first you want to fix your application. Based on your application, you want to fix with your rotor type. That is, if you are designing a bicycle, e-bicycle, then your rotor can be of exterior. When you come for an electrical vehicle, then you come for interior rotor type. So based on, next requirement is rotor type. Then you have to come for magnet grade. Which magnet you are going to fix on the rotor? Which I can go based on your cost as well as your need. You can go with permanent magnet, because permanent magnet is the costliest thing in which you are going to invest over this machine. So deciding proper magnet based on your application is very important in this aspect. Then the number of poles. Here, poles, what I am trying to tell is that the number of rotor saliency or number of permanent magnet, you can take it in that way. That is the number of poles. After fixing the number of poles of the rotor, you want to go for number of stator slots and faces. So there is a combination that, for example, if you have a 4 rotor poles, then your stator should have 6 stator teeth. Like that, some combinations are there. Based on the various calculations and researches, there is a book based on the permanent magnet brushless DC motion design, written by Hendershot. He has given many combinations of poles and stator slots. You can refer that also for your initial design knowledge. Then you can go with rough size. After fixing all this, you can come across, you will have a rough idea about the this much size on this is the maximum size that the motor can go. Then you want to go with air gap length and the magnetic loading. So how much magnetic loading can be done, that has to be fixed. And the air gap, the air gap is very important key factor, because when you have a large air gap, and if you have more air gap between the stator teeth, especially in this permanent magnet rotor, because we are not going to have any control over rotor. Any control we are not having, because once the magnet is fixed, the properties which the magnet is having is your final property. You cannot either do field excitation or anything to have a control over it. So the air gap, fixing the air gap is very important, because if you have a large air gap, your flux will never travel through the low reluctance path. It will have many leakage fluxes. So air gap, fixing air gap is also another key factor in design. As I told, determine flux per pole combination, because based on the last point itself, this flux per pole combination will come. Then stator lamination dimension, because stator should be laminated, and that dimension is also very important in that. This is also in for simulation purpose, this can be neglected also, but for real-time application, this has to be considered. Next is number of conductors per turn or coil, you can say. Conductors per turn, because this is also, as you know, that how much conductor per turns also, number of turns fixing also has an influence over the machine performance. So turns ratio also is very important in this. Next, wire size, resistance and inductance of the coil. That is the coil which you are calculating. That is conductor size, diameter and the area available. Based on the area availability, you are going to fix with your conductor coils which are over the stator. Okay. Next is calculation of the performance. Based on this, you can calculate the performance and whether it is reached, your efficiency and your torque speed is reached or not, you have to calculate. And if the performance is not matched, then again you want to start from the design procedure from the starting. So this is the design flowchart of this is the flowchart which is showing how to design what are the steps you want to follow to design a machine. Next, now we will come into one section. First is rotor design. So in rotor design, first you want to see which configuration of rotor design is to be taken. Either, as I told, it has interior rotor, exterior rotor, or axial gap configuration. Axial rotor, first, for which application you can go is that it has fairly low speed, constant speed, or slightly variable speed. For example, CD players, floppy disk drives, VCRs, this type of applications will have axial rotors. Interior rotor will have high torque and low speed. For especially for electrical vehicles, you want to go with this interior rotor. Exterior rotor will have higher speed, which is constant or varies only slightly. Means where you have a constant speed, and if you expect a light speed variation for that type of application, you can go with your exterior rotor design. Sir, am I audible, sir? Hello?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes,
Ah,
sir.
okay. I had a doubt that whether I'm okay. Thank you, sir. I'll continue.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Next step is that we want to fix with magnet grade. Here in this slide, I have shown like ceramic fight, sintern alkenophite, cast alkano, samarium cobalt, like this various type of permanent magnets and their properties. These are the properties available for all permanent magnets. Based on this, your requirement, you can go with any magnet grade. Here, most probably the samarium cobalts are used as or neodymium also, or sometimes they are using neodymium also. So this type of magnets are being used. Apart from the properties which I have shown, that is maximum energy product, residual flux density, coercive force, working temperature. Apart from these aspects, already I have told about cogging torque, right? The remanence value, every permanent magnet has remanence value. These remanence value have high influence over this cogging torque. If you change the magnet based on this with a different remanence value, based on the remanence value, your cogging torque also will have variation. So for simple analysis, you can change the various magnetic materials and you can just analyze this cogging torque also. Next, the number of poles. You want to fix with number of rotor poles. So what are the factors which are affecting the number of poles? Is that magnet material and grade, type of rotor, mechanical assembly of the rotor, speed of rotation, and inertia requirement. Based on these requirements, you have to fix your number of poles. It is not like that for randomly I will go with 2 poles or 4 poles like this, because based on your mechanical support and inertial requirement, inertia requirement is very important aspect in this. In apart from all the other points, I can take this inertia requirement. How much inertia is required for your application? Based on that, you want to go with poles, as well as the how much speed you want to rotate is also decided by number of poles. So based on your application fixed with the initial requirement and speed, you can go with the number of poles. Here, as I had already told, Hendershot book. Here I have given a reference called Hendershot. Here, this is a book especially for design of brushless permanent magnet motor. Okay, in this book you can see every aspect of designing a machine. So keeping this book as reference only, I have developed my first model in in 2012, you can say. So for two-phase motor, he has given this type of combination. For example, if you are having a rotor pole of 2 or 6, your slots can be 8. For 12 slots, you can go for rotor poles of 2 or 10. Like this, you have various combinations. And these combinations is for 3-phase. Okay, as I told already, we are speaking about a cogging torque. We are keeping that as a key factor in this design procedure, because we are going we are having a problem in means we have a setback in this BLDC motor, and that can be rectified through design. Means we have taken a cogging torque as our key factor. If you see, if you choose your slot per pole combination in as a fractional slot, then your cogging torque will be reduced. For example, if you divide the number of stator slots with your rotor poles, and if you are getting a fractional value, that type of combination will have a reduced cogging torque. This is also a theoretical proven reduction method. So these are the slot per pole combination for a three-phase motor combinations. Next, the final point is that winding pitch. Winding pitch is it is nothing but a combination between the number of slots as well as the number of poles rounded off to the next lower number. For example, if you divide the number of slots by number of poles, and if you are getting a 0.75, your coil span and slot pitch is 1. This is a basic design knowledge only. During your BTech level also, you might have seen studied about these things. So this is called as winding pitch. These are some of the combinations of slot per pole ratio for three-phase machines. When you have this slide for reference, you can, if you are, this cannot be, this is actually very basic level only. So when you see itself, you can find this combination when you get into the design procedure. Next, coming to the winding configuration over the stator teeth. It is for an interior rotor type, you are going to wind your stator. Either you can have a lap winding as well as concentrated winding. Lap winding is similar to that of a three-phase induction machine only. Whereas concentric winding, you can study about special machine in your machines also. Shaded pole motors. In shaded pole motors, we are giving a concentric winding. That is, the winding is made over a teeth and the leads are taken out, like that type of winding. So here in this our type of brushless DC motor, which we are going to see in coming session, is of concentrate winding type. I have taken a concentric winding type only. Next, if your rotor is of exterior rotor, then your winding you can make it similar to that of a DC motor armature winding, except the terminal connections and the number of leads only you can make it as difference. That is, either you are taking positive negative, you want to take three-phase winding. That is the difference. Similar to that of DC motor, you can give the winding configuration for both interior as well as exterior type of rotor. And these are the established equation for giving the slot forward combination. That is how the coil has to be progress as well as retrogressive, clockwise as well as counterclockwise direction. This is actually normal machine design procedure only. It is not specifically for this thing, but based on the coil span, we are going to give a number of slots per pole combination. Based on that, your winding has to be entered as well as leaving. This is also similar to the type of what type of winding you are seeing in electrical machines only. This type of combinations only you are making here also. This is an example of three-phase motor with 15 slots and pole combination. If you see 4 poles, this is also I have taken from researchers only. If you see the coil number, this is a small example. This can be confusions also. This is 12 coil turns. Here you want to go with first coil, and it has to be returned through third teeth with a coil span of 2, because the difference between 3 and 1 return coil and your go slot is of 2, so the coil span is 2 here. Similarly, for it is repeating like 3 difference. You want to maintain it for coil winding. For example, if you are starting with first teeth, your coil should be end with the third, and then with the fifth it has to come, and it has to come through seventh, like that. Like odd numbers you can say. You want to go span it so that your coil spanning will be of 2. So far I have told you that what is the basic design procedures of BLDC motor. If you see here, so far there is no generalized design procedure for designing a BLDC motor. So I can actually I have told you like a rough idea only. I have not told anything about internal calculations, like what are the minute calculations that has to be made and what are the factors that are to be assumed, and assumptions also. You cannot go with just like that as an assumption. You want to properly calculate the assumptions value also, and based on various researches and various literatures and consulting with various industries, I have also taken some fill factors, everything into constant values. Why I have not told anything about this in this session is that now I am actually planning to make that design procedure into an application software, so that if you give your needs like this much torque, this much speed, or this much current, like that, or if you want a dimension oriented design, like for this much size I want to have and this much output speed, current, and efficiency, it will automatically give your other rest of the other dimension. Based on this, I am trying to develop an application software for especially for BLDC motor, for in-depth calculation as well as the assumptions that are to be made. You can refer with, this is my publication. This is actually a basic conference level publication only, but you can see here in recent I have published this paper in 2012, whereas in recent years, that is 2018 to 20, this paper is being reviewed and read by many people during this year only, because now this area is getting more popularity because of electrical vehicle situations. So this as now we are going to moving towards the BLDC motor. Here in this publication, what I have given is that in-depth derivations as well as the approach you want to make, either independent or dependent, both variables, using both variables, how you want to approach a design values, dimensions, how you can calculate. So here I have given the in-depth equation derivation and everything about this brushless DC motor. You can refer to it, and if you have any doubt in this publications also, you can contact me at any time at the mail ID I given in the page. Okay, brief introduction about the design software which I am going to use to design this brushless DC motor. There are various design software, like it is generally called as FEM tools, finite element method tools, and the analyzers are called as FEA solvers. There are many design softwares like ANSYS, Maxwell RM Expert, JMag, and many other design softwares. Here we are going to use about Magnet software. Magnet is a, using this Magnet software, you can design either a 2D or 3D model for magnetostatic, time harmonic, transient, and transient with motion analysis. You can do this type of analysis. It always gives a provide accurate field solution within the finite element mesh method. Why I am suggesting this software? Because for any beginner, this is very user friendly, and it also does not require more higher configuration of system configuration. So this is the main advantage. Even with low system configuration, you can use this designing tool, whereas various other designing tool requires more system configuration, a high system. You can tell it as high system configuration. So this is available with Infoletica Corporation. In Google itself, if you type Infoletica Corporation Magnet software, you can get this software free trial version. This trial version has some restriction, and I will tell what are the restrictions you have. Using this software, you can design motor, any type of motors, actuators, solenoids, loudspeaker, transformers, sensors, recording heads, everything. You can design anything, and you can do electromagnetic analysis of this. It is a multi-physics tool, and this is the small design procedure about the Magnet software. First, you want to open a new model, and then you want to build the geometric model. Geometric model in the sense, you want to create your own drawing space, draw the motor, draw the geometries with the dimensions, and you want to sweep the components. What is the meaning of sweep the components? Is that to which length your machine has to be made. That is called a sweeping. That is total volume of your machine. Next, you want to create coils over this data, and the next point is adding boundary conditions. That is, you want to have certain boundary conditions for your constraints. For your constraints, you want to fix with some boundary conditions. These boundary conditions are predefined within the software, and you can choose any of your boundary condition based on your application. Next is customization of mesh. That is, what is finite element analysis is that any structure is divided into many small triangles. and based on the Fourier transform of this triangle, the volumetric analysis is done. So this is called as meshing. As meshing is getting denser by denser, your results are more confined and more refined results you will be getting, smooth results you will be getting. Next, you want to solve the designed model, and next you want to view the results in the result plots. What are the tools available in this software are that for drawing, you are having line drawing tools, arc drawing tools, and circle drawing tools. Based on this, I guess you can design any type of motor with this tool itself. Next, the input. How you can draw? That is, this is a graphical input software. You want to create your own graphical inputs. That is, you want to imagine that the drawing area, that is your creating area, as a graph like x y coordinates. You want to give the coordinate values so that it will give a graphical input to the software, and based on this your geometry is being developed. Instead of this, you can also give programming also, or directly through mouse, by dragging your mouse also you can create your own shapes. Like that also you can do. But the correct approach is that you want to give the graphical coordinates. That is the right approach. So as I told, these are the drawing arcs, and these are the circles. You want to give your center point as well as your radius as your coordinates. And after drawing your coordinates, you want to make the single line diagram as a component. Here, the red colors locations which I have shown in the diagrams are created as components. A single line diagram has to be created into components. Either it has to be created as stator or rotor or any hub or any air gap, like that. After that, you want to fix the properties of the components. These are the general properties available: sweep distance, mesh layers, what type of materials has to be used, and what are the parameters you would like to give it as an input. These type of inputs can be given. These are the selection tools. That is, for developing a motor and to select, either you want to select a component or either you want to select a curve, anything. Using these selection tools, you can select the drawn or developed model. These are the predefined materials available. It has n number of materials: conducting, permanent magnet, conductors, ions, MS steels, everything with predefined properties. You can also fix your own material also based upon your properties. After giving all this, what are the results that can be viewed in this software is that total magnetic stored energy and co-energy, force and torque on each body, flux linkages in the coils as well as the core, losses in the conducting components, current at each coil, and circuit components. And here, this is the plain screen of your magnet software. Here you can see in this bottom of the screen, here you can see that it is a trial edition. So this has some constraints, whereas in full version you have no constraints. You can do any type of challenges. What is the constraints you have in the trial version is that you don't have some solving techniques. Here I am going to show how in this file you want to create a new model. After creating your new model, you want to give your input tools as your input keyboard input bar. As I told earlier, you are going to give your inputs as your graphical inputs, that is x, y coordinates. So you are choosing an option as keyboard input bar. Next, you can see here that I have selected circle option. Based on the circle option, I am here. You can see your pop-up Here you can see your pop-up, that is units. Either it is meters, kilometers or millimeters. Based on your dimensions, you can choose your own units. After choosing the units, here I have drawn a x coordinate as 0 and 30 mm outer diameter, one circle. So likewise, I will develop the complete model. This is the first step of the developing a model. This is called as geometry. This is called developing a geometry model. Here I have developed a geometry model of a BLDC motor. Next, I have created the components and I have filled the materials. Everything I have filled. This is the complete model. That is existing model I have created in this software. Next, coming to the analysis. As I told earlier, this is a trial version. So here you are seeing only static 2D model for your solving option. You are not having your time harmonic, transient. These analysis you cannot go. You can go with static, that to 2D only, because we are using trial version. If you are using full version, you are having another 6 type of, nearly 8 type of solving techniques. So you can go all 8 type of solving techniques for your solving methods. And then once the machine is solved, this type of results you are getting. That is, you are getting the force as well as torque of the machine. So you can copy to export these type of results into your Excel sheet. Here you are seeing a Moog manufacturer Moog BLDC motor, and this motor only I have designed in that software. Okay, I have opened the model, and this is the real model. Here I have dismantled the machine, and I have taken the dimensions of each and every parts, and I have drawn in that software. So this I have developed. This is the material field, and this you can see the view of the length view of the machine. Here the lines you are seeing is the coil arrangement of the machine done over the stator. And I was telling you about the mesh, right? If your drawn geometry and the boundary conditions which you are given is perfect, is decided by this mesh only. If your geometry has any fault, like the edges are not connected, or this type of drawing is not accepted, any coincidence or the overlapping of the design is there, this mesh will not be generated. So once the mesh is being generated, you can take it that as your model is correct. So you want to evaluate this model based on this mesh arrangement only. Here you can see near the stator teeth you can find a dense meshes, whereas where are the important properties are not there, you are having a large mesh. This is automatically generated mesh, predefined mesh. When you give a solving technique, the mesh is being formed. You can also have your customized mesh arrangements also. If you want a predefined, like smooth result over the permanent magnet alone, then in all the other points you can reduce the mesh values, and you can have a dense mesh over the rotor itself. By doing so, what you are going to achieve is that your simulation running time will be reduced. So as you are getting more dense mesh values, you will get a more simulation runtime. So deciding your mesh will always result in the reduced simulation runtime. And this is the flux path. So through these slides, what I am trying to tell is that I am not telling how to use the software and how to these things. These things I am not telling. These things I will discuss in the later session. What I am trying to tell is that once how to open the model and what you want to do for designing a machine. After designing a machine, what are the things you want to see and you want to evaluate so that your machine is correct or not. What are the things you want to view? First, I have told you want to see the axial view of your machine, and you want to see the coil pattern, and you want to see the mesh arrangement, and later you want to see the flux path. The flux has to travel in a equal path and it should not have more leakage. In this model also you can see some leakage fluxes, but which is negligible, in negligible quantity only. But it should have a closed flux path. These path, after this only you can come to a conclusion that the motor which you are designed or any machine you are designed is of rightly modeled. And this is the flux values which I am getting around the machine and within the machine. This is the solving option which I have chose, and after solving I'll get these results. In this session we have designed the existing BLDC motor we have designed and taken, and we have compared the rated value of the machine. So I have exported, because here you can see an option called graph selection. This graph selection will be enabled in when you solve a problem using time harmonic analysis only. So in this trial version, you are not going to have this graph selection. If you have this graph selection, you just click on any parameter and just give this graph selection. Automatically, your graph will be exported and it will show in the next pop-up card. But hence, since we are going to use, as we are beginners, we are going to use on a trial edition, this graph selection will not come. So what we want to do is that we want to export, that is copy paste or export our results into Excel sheet, and through this Excel sheet we have to plot our own curve in this way. And this is also a correct approach only. This is not going to make much difference, because that graph also will show you these values only. So these are some of the research gap which I am giving you based on this electrical vehicle application. At present also there are many challenges in this electric drive system. For example, you can show your concentration over batteries as well as capacitors for long charging time. Sensors are being placed inside the machine. These sensors sometimes will give rotor position error. So to rectify it, you can develop your own controllers. As I said earlier, we cannot tell that the motor can be running under this situation only. It will be running at any situation. So we want to design a motor based on high resistivity, so that it will be of high reliable, stable, and for safe operation. And next, we can show some design way improvements due to the space limitation, high density, compact, and less weight. Considering these factors, you can show some design variations in machine designs also. And you can it also involves power electronic circuit for operation. So you are using your power electronic side also, you can focus your research like reduced switching, because by reducing the number of switches you can reduce the switching losses. So these are some of the research gap which I have found in this area. So based on this, you can also focus your researches on this also. So with this, I am ending this session. Thank you all for your attention.